Hey guys, Ryan here at Signature Edits, and thank you so much for purchasing your questionnaire template. So thank you. I want to say that first and foremost. Second, I want to give you a quick run through of how to edit this template, how to set it up, and how it works. So in front of me, I have the wedding day questionnaire. Now, if you bought a different template, whether it's the family questionnaire template or a newborn questionnaire template, don't worry, all these templates work exactly the same, so the steps, the processes, everything is the same. So I'm going to show you how you set this up. So when you first get the link, you will open up this file and it says wedding day questionnaire or whatever questionnaire you have. Don't edit. Create a copy. Now this is very, very important because if you edit this, you'll be editing the master template. And so not only will that mess it up for future people who get the template, it will also make sure that you lose your changes because what's going to happen is I'm going to find out, oh shoot, this template is no longer the original settings, I'll have to reset it, and you'll lose your work. So don't do that. The first thing you need to do is go up to these three little dots here in your Google account and click those three dots and then go make a copy. So that's all you have to do. Now, in order to use this template, of course, you're going to need a Google account. If you haven't created one, you can make one really quick. It's super simple. So we're going to make a copy, and I'm going to title it Ryan's Wedding Questionnaire. You can change the name of this later on if you want to. So I'm going to hit OK, and don't hit share with same people. We don't want other people to have access to this document, just us. So hit OK. Now it's open in a new tab, and here I have Ryan's Wedding Questionnaire. I can now edit this. Great. So inside of this questionnaire, we have all of these questions one at a time, and we can just go in and edit it. It's actually pretty simple, but it can be a little confusing if you're opening this for the first time. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this image. To do so, I just click it and hit this garbage can. Bam. And now this is the first section, second section, and so on of the questionnaire. Sections are basically the number of pages that are going to show when someone actually does the questionnaire. So you can preview this questionnaire as is or at any time by hitting this eyeball button. If I hit that, it'll open it in a new tab, and you can see that section 1 is just this one little intro. So I've got a welcome, thank you for answering this question, whatever. I can insert my own text here, hit next, and then you'll open up section 1. Hit next after those have been answered, and you'll open up section 2. So it's really, really simple. That's how it's laid out. Now you can go ahead and edit your questions like this. At the top of every section, first off, you have a section heading. So I can title this, and I could change it to groom info, right? And then under description, you can either leave this blank or you can add something. So times, dates, and info for the groom's stuff. Now, if I go back to my preview and I refresh that, you'll see that when I actually get to this section, it now is titled Groom Info times Dates and Info for the Groom's Stuff. Now it's important to note that this is the section header. It's not a question. So when you actually edit one of these, you don't want to go, how did you meet? And then assume that this is where they're going to put their answer. It's not. That's just going to be this text right at the top here. To do the questions, you're going to use the next box down. So that is the first question here. We can go ahead and change this to groom's middle name, and then we can select what type of a question it is over here. So we can have a short answer if it's a one-word answer, like for instance this might be Brody. If it's a longer question like groom's favorite day in his life, and we want them to, I should learn to spell here, and if we want them to answer more, we can put a paragraph space, and you'll see it now says long answer text for your answer field. Or if we want to, we can even do multiple choice questions, checkboxes, drop downs. It's really up to you. There's a lot of different options here, but it's easy. All you have to do is select what kind of an answer it is. And if it's multiple choice, you select that. And now you can see that we've got different options. So option 1 might be his birthday. Option 2, we just click add option, and it would be maybe Christmas. And add option, we could add option 3, right? It's really quite simple, and then if we want to, we can even add an other. So if it's not that, not any of these options, they can choose to write their own option in here. So that's how you would do that. Short answer, paragraph, multiple choice. Checkboxes is generally yes or no. Drop down, file upload. So if you wanted them to share their wedding timeline, you could literally do that and say, okay, in this section, they'll be able to actually upload their files to my Google Drive. So you could say, upload your timeline here. And then we can say how many files we want. You can just leave this. That should be probably fine, but I'm going to increase the size just in case they have a huge file they want to share. And then I would go required if I want that question to be answered for sure. It won't let them keep going in the questionnaire or skip this question, or leave it unrequired so that they can only upload this file if they have it. They don't have to upload it. So let's go over to our preview and just refresh and take a look at what that looks like. So we'd hit next on this first page, and bam, upload your timeline here. So they'll just hit add file, and they can select and drag the file into here. And when they submit the questionnaire, you'll receive that file, which is super handy. All right, so I think you understand how to edit the questions, and then each section is basically the page. When they hit next, they'll be brought to the next section. And this little option here, continue to next section after section 2, basically once they fill out these questions, when they get to the end of this particular section, what do you want to happen next? You could have them go to a different section other than the next one in the sequence. So instead of going to section 3 after they finish section 2, you could have them go to section 6. In general, you don't want to do that, but you can if you wanted to. And if you're finding your form isn't working properly, it's going somewhere else, it's not behaving the way you expect, that's probably the first thing to check. Is it going to the next section, or did you accidentally switch it to a different one? And so they would go through here, they'd finish all of these questions, and we could just edit any of these questions, obviously, insert questions to add a question. The easiest way to do it is just find a question that is in the format you like, or not, and just hit duplicate. And then we can type our new question here and enter what kind of a question it is, what kind of an answer field we want, everything like that, whether it's required or not. It's really that simple. To delete a question, we just select that question, just click on it, and hit the garbage can. Couldn't be more easy. Now, if you don't want a certain section, you'd hit these 3 little dots, and you go to delete section. Easy. If you wanted to add a section to make one big section instead of 2 smaller sections, we could go hit those 3 dots again and go with merge with above. Now we have one super long section rather than 2 separate ones. Okay, so I hope you understand. It's really quick, really simple, really easy. If you wanted to make this into another questionnaire, for instance, you wanted to make one for yourself to use for couples for engagements, well, you could do that just by going up to these 3 dots and hitting make a copy, go through and add your questions, and then you have an engagement questionnaire. Great. So now the other thing that we need to talk about now that we've done this is how to share this questionnaire, and that's really simple. We just hit this eyeball, and you'll see that it pulls up that preview we've been looking at before. And just copy this link. It's really as simple as that. We can copy the link and then go over to our email. Let's pretend this was an email. I would just paste that link in the email, and bam, when a couple clicks that link, I'd say, fill out this questionnaire for me. I'd insert the link, and then when they click that link, they'll be brought to this questionnaire. Don't worry, they won't see this edit symbol because they're not signed into your account. That'll only show up on your account because you're the editor. So they'll just see this questionnaire, and they'll be able to go through and submit it. It's really that simple. Another way that you can have this shared if you don't want to have this big long link is you could go to a service like Bitly, which is a link shortener. So you'd have to make a free account, and once you log in, you can literally enter the link in. So once we're logged in here, you just go up to create, and we'd hit BitLink. We're going to paste our original questionnaire link just by copying it, paste it over here, hit create. And then you can select what you want that title to be, and you can customize the end of this link. So I might put couples questions. Okay, now it's going to create a link for me when I do this. Oh, now this one has actually been used before by somebody else, so I'd have to make up my own. So I'd go see questions. Let's see if that's been used. That's been used too. Oh no. So maybe I could go questions with an extra N, or I could go, since my company is Tailored Fit Photography, I go TFit questions. Probably no one's used that. Perfect. So now I've got that link, and I can copy that and paste that into my email, and now it's way shorter and it looks a little bit more professional and good to go, right? Another way you can do it, if you don't like the looks of that either, I'm just going to give you tons of options here. I can go into my email, type in here is the questionnaire, just copy that word questionnaire and add a link to that, paste my link in here. And now when they click it, they'll be taken to the questionnaire. So you don't even have to have the link if you don't want to. That's 3 different ways you can insert this into what you're doing. Now, if you're looking to insert this questionnaire in your website, that may or may not be doable depending on what kind of website you're using and your computer programming skills. So I'm just going to not go into those specifics because it just gets very complicated. It depends on the platform, so I'm not going to cover all of those. You're going to have to look into it for yourself. But honestly, we send this questionnaire just like this to our clients because at the end of the day, we found trying to incorporate it into our website just made more room for bugs to pop up. And this actually looks super slick when people load it up on their mobile device or whatever it is they're using. They open it up. It fills the form beautifully. People know and trust Google, so it's all good, and I can insert my own image or my own banner to make sure that it is branded the way that I like. So now that you've had the questionnaire edited and you have it ready to submit, how do you get the responses? Well, when someone fills it out, you'll automatically have the responses added in this tab here. So if I were to go through here and just fill out this preview, and let's just go through really, really quick. We're going to put some dummy information in here. Just hit next a bunch of times. Let's pretend that someone went through and they did a terrible job on your questionnaire. Perfect, and they hit submit. Bam, that response has been added to the questionnaire, and if they want to, they can go in and edit their response. But we're going to open it up here, and now we see responses. We have one. So we can open it up, and it will either summarize. This is if you're doing more of a survey. So if you sent clients surveys, you could see a summary of all their responses. But more importantly, we can view individual responses, and you can see this is one of one. We can skip to any number of responses. And at the very top, that's why we always put what is your name, couple's name, so that we know which questionnaire it is. And the nice part is this keeps all of the questionnaires for the entire season if you want, or longer if you want as well, organized in one spot so I can access all of them. They're backed up on the cloud. Easy as pie. I can print those if I want to, even save it as a PDF. To do that, you would just go change and select save as PDF under your options, if that is easier for you than looking on the website. And you can just go through and grab all of your information from here. Now, if you want to be notified when a response is submitted, you would just go into get email notifications for new responses and make sure that that is checked, and it will send a notification every time somebody submits to this form for the form owner. So for instance, since this form was made in my signature edits profile, every time someone submits, I'm going to get an email in the signature edits email inbox, not a different email box, just in that specific one. So I hope that makes sense. If you want to, you can also go ahead and have these responses added to a new spreadsheet. So for instance, I could go ahead here, create a new spreadsheet. I'd hit create, and it will automatically create a spreadsheet in Google Docs. And now, when form answers are submitted, it will be added to this spreadsheet. If I go select response destination, and we're going to select the spreadsheet that we just created. And if this is too complicated for you, don't worry about it. Just use the form as is. It's just some people have requested this feature, so that's why I'm showing you how to do it. You would wait for this to load until eventually up pops your recent questionnaire we just made. We go select, and then it is going to automatically add any submissions to this spreadsheet. So we'll be able to see all of them in one place all at once, and we can change our different settings here. For those of you familiar with Google Docs, you can make it alert you every time this form is edited, and you can just organize your information that way. So that's it for editing the questionnaire. It's quick, it's simple, it's super easy. We just drag and drop pretty much as we're editing, and it really is that simple. So just go back and watch this video again if you still have questions or you're still a little confused. It might take watching it a couple of times, but I know that you'll get it. I know that you'll enjoy it. All the best, and thanks again for purchasing.